Well, actually, they went yesterday for a 1 hour site visit to make sure they could do it. That was when they said they saw the mass grave, for example, confirming what we had heard from doctors inside the hospital who said that the people outside were not able to be buried individually. It was too dangerous, and they buried them all, civilians and patients, in a mass grave there. What they saw and what they said was they would be able to shift the remaining some 300, less than 300 doctors and patients, according to Hamas Health Department figures. And the WHO came in today. They had their own equipment. Israel had brought in some equipment, especially incubators for the babies, and we saw them being removed today. WHO says it's going to be a 72-hour operation, so most of it done today, but the remaining patients who are very sick being moved more slowly, I think, or over the next 48 hours.
Right, Irris, stay with us because an article in the Washington Post claims that both Israel and Hamas have agreed to a tentative US brokered deal that could see dozens of hostages held in Gaza freed. According to the article, the deal would be in exchange for a 5-day pause in fighting and could begin within days. Well, that move would signal the first sustained pause in the conflict in Gaza. Here's Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani, Qatar's Prime Minister.
The challenges that remains in the negotiations are very minor compared to the bigger challenges. They are more logistical, they are more practical, and I believe that with the willingness of both parties to engage and to have this deal moving, we can reach there. Civilians are civilians, whether they are from the Israeli side or the Palestinian side.
Well, Irris, you heard from Qatar's Prime Minister there saying that things look like they're moving forward. It contradicts what Benjamin Netanyahu said last night, warning against rumours about hostages or their liberation being upcoming. Have things moved that quickly from yesterday, or has Netanyahu just not wanted to say what's happening?
I think he hasn't wanted to say, because the bare bones of this deal have been discussed or leaked for 2 or 3 weeks now. So there was always going to be an exchange of women and children being held in by Hamas in the Gaza Strip for for Palestinians that Israel is holding. There was always going to be a ceasefire, and those were the bare bones of it. You know, the number of Israelis to be released, all that wasn't clear. But this is the same deal that has been being discussed for 3 weeks now. So I think that that Netanyahu was being cautious. The pressure is on him emotionally. You know, the hostages are Israeli after all, as well as from other nationalities, but there's an enormous amount of pressure on him to reach this deal. And we have heard, by the way, from the Israeli ambassador to Washington, talking to an American network, to ABC today, and he more or less said, yes, we are getting closer. So I think when you hear it from Qatar, when you hear it from an Israeli ambassador in Washington, perhaps there is some movement, and Benjamin Netanyahu, for his own political reasons, is more cautious.